understand that they don't reprimand their daughters. Bright young women, sick of swimming, ready to stand. Up where they run, up where they stay all day in the sun, wandering free, wish I could be part of your world. Up where they walk, up where they run, here where you stay all day in the sun. Florida. Wandering free, part of your world. Wandering free, wish I could be part of your world.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning to those of you who are here in this sanctuary and to those of you who are tuning in online with us. We welcome you to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Vero Beach, or as we call it, UUFVB. I'm Jack Stiefel, and my pronouns are he, him, and his. And for those of you who may be visually challenged, I'm an older guy with white hair and glasses. No facial hair. My skin is not white. My skin is a light shade of brown. Whether you are young or old, whether you're gay or straight, or whether you identify in some other way, no matter what beautiful shade of brown your skin is, whether you're joyful and carefree this morning or perhaps burdened with the worries of the world, we welcome you just as you are. A bit about us. UUFVB is a caring, liberal religious community. We encourage spiritual growth and we seek justice for all. That is our mission. And speaking of our mission, here is an important announcement. Next week, Sunday, February 15th, there will be a World Cafe after the coffee hour. We will take about an hour to talk about 5 words that answer the question, why must UUFVB exist? These words will be wordsmithed into our new mission statement. So come to the World Cafe next Sunday. Also, today, please vote on the UUFVB members' art in the hallways. Now, you have from this afternoon, actually until Tuesday, to vote on your favorite painting. And here's another important message. I see some faces out there that I don't recognize, which is wonderful. That means we have guests. And if you're visiting for the first time, we're really pleased that you're here with us this morning. After the service is over, please join us for coffee hour right afterwards. It's just follow the crowd right down that way to the fellowship hall, where we'll have coffee and some snacks. And take a red mug, if you will, please, so that we can identify you as a guest and can give you an especially warm you welcome. Okay, that's it for the announcements, but please read the other announcements that I didn't mention in the order of service so you can keep track. And a reminder for everybody, let's silence our phones before the service begins. Thank you. Now, I invite each of you to greet one another, especially those who you don't know or you don't know well. Get to know a new friend.
Good work. See if we can get them back in line. Well, it's all good.
Open unto me light for my darkness, light for my darkness. Open unto me, open unto me light for my darkness. Open unto me, O God. Open unto me strength for my weakness, strength for my weakness. Open unto me, open unto me strength for my weakness. Open unto me, O God. Open unto me peace for my turmoil, peace for my turmoil. Open unto me, open unto me peace for my turmoil. Open unto me, O God. Open unto me, open unto me, open unto me, peace for my turmoil. Open unto me, oh God.
Good morning, everybody. Oh, thank you. Just one moment, though. Today, this service will reflect on American author, minister, Christian mystic, educator, civil rights leader, and very unorthodox philosopher and theologian Howard Thurman. We're hearing his words in the introit just now, as well as the chalice lighting, prayer, meditation, and benediction. I invite you to listen to the words of a black man who was born November 18th, 1899, and who died April 10th, 1981. Howard Thurman was called the godfather of the civil rights movement. Another author wrote, "No Howard Thurman, no Martin Luther King Jr." You see, he mentored Martin Luther King Jr. And King kept a copy of Thurman's book, Jesus and the Disinherited, with him throughout his life. You'll also find Thurman's words in our gray hymnal, despite him not being a Unitarian Universalist. Okay, go ahead. There we go. Thank you. It is our tradition as we light our chalice to say some words that are meaningful to us. So if you will join me in the quietness of this space, surrounded by the all-pervading presence of the holy, my heart whispers, keep fresh with joy the moments of my high resolve, that in good times or in tempests I may not forget that to which my life is committed. Keep fresh before me the moments of my high resolve. And now, if you will rise in body or spirit and join us in singing hymn number 34, Though I May Speak with Bravest Fire.
We're doing verses 1 and 3. Though I may speak with bravest fire, and have the gift to all inspire, and have not love, my words are vain, as sounding brass and hopeless gain. Come, Spirit, come, our hearts control, our spirits long to be made whole. Let inward love guide every deed. By this we worship and are freed.
Our time for all ages this morning is a story entitled The Bamboo and the Storm by Priya Kumar. It's a wisdom tale from the Zen Buddhist tradition. Long ago, in a quiet mountain village, a young monk felt overwhelmed. Storms had battered the fields, the roof of the small temple leaked, and each day more people arrived with worries he didn't know how to ease. One afternoon, the young monk sat with his teacher beside a grove of bamboo. "I don't understand," he said. "Everything feels too heavy. I keep trying to be strong, but the storms just keep coming. I feel so worn down like I'm about to break." The teacher nodded gently, then pointed toward the bamboo swaying in the wind. Watch. A powerful gust swept down the mountainside. The bamboo stalks bent almost to the ground, but they did not break. When the wind passed, they rose again, tall and steady. Many people think resilience means standing firm against every challenge, the teacher said. But bamboo teaches us something different. It does not resist the wind. It bends, and then it rises. The teacher brushed aside a leaf and revealed a small green shoot pushing its way through the soil. Look at this one, only a few weeks old, yet already reaching upward. It doesn't worry about how many storms have come or how many will come next. It simply keeps growing toward the light. The young monk touched the tiny stalk and felt its surprising strength. But teacher, he said softly, what if the storm is too strong? What if we bend so far that we cannot rise again? The teacher placed a hand on his shoulder. That is when we rely on the grove. Well, the young monk looked around and suddenly saw what he had missed before. The bamboo was all connected underground. Though each stalk stood alone above the earth, their roots were intertwined below. When one stalk is weakened, the teacher continued, the whole grove helps hold it up. Resilience is not a solitary path. It grows from connection, like these roots. As the wind began to blow again, the young monk watched the bamboo move together, supporting one another with every sway. And something inside him shifted, a sense of strength that wasn't just his own, but shared. Thank you, he said quietly. I understand now. The teacher smiled. Storms will come again, but with a community of support, so will our rising.
Now let us sing the children out to their classrooms.
As you journey, may you know, love and hope go with you, love and hope go with you. Learn and grow, learn and grow.
Today, we welcome new members to this religious community. There is no creedal test for membership, no specific doctrine which, as a member, you are required to affirm. Rather, as Unitarian Universalists, we commit to holding ourselves accountable to our values, to accept that truth wears many faces and that life's possibilities are as yet unknown. We affirm that we are open to continued spiritual and intellectual growing, and that we contribute to the emergence of love and justice in this community and the world. It is my privilege now to invite those people who have joined the fellowship in recent months to come forward to be recognized and welcomed. Come on up. But I'll say your name anyway. So there are 5 people, but only 2 of them are here. We're going to mention everybody, though. Lisa Andrew. There you go. Catherine Desmond. Judith Beck. Harry Torosalu. And Pat Tulo. Welcome. Here in this fellowship, people gather seeking a higher purpose and a deeper life than they can find alone. We are grateful today for each of you that have found your way here and that you have decided to make a commitment to this faith community. We hope that as a member of this fellowship, you will allow yourself to be known, to know and to be known, to minister and to be ministered unto, to love and to be loved by this congregation. The relationships we form in this fellowship are based on needs of the soul, needs that render us vulnerable and therefore reliant on one another's graces, goodness, and generosity. As members of this fellowship, we pledge to be guardians of each other's spirits, to respect the ultimate privacy of one another's struggles, and to believe in each other's inherent dignity. Oh, did you bring your order of service up? Ah, you got it, okay. If you would please read the new members thing. Will the members of UUFEB please join me in the minister and congregation words again in the insert in your order of service? We rejoice when new members express a desire to walk with us in our quest for community, justice, decency, and love. We are encouraged by your presence and strengthened by your contribution to our diversity. We accept our responsibility to help you feel safe, nurtured, and included in this faith and open community. We delight that you have formally joined our congregation. Welcome. And now we get to sing. This is a special part. Here we go.
Consider yourself at home. Consider yourself one of the family. We're forming a bond so strong. It's clear we're going to get along. Consider yourself well in. Consider yourself part of the membership. We're glad that you've come on board. Let's grow together in bonds of love. We have a place to meet, friends to greet, ideas to share, and a world that needs our care. Every last one of us has love to give. We know it's true. All our welcome is for you. Consider yourself well loved, a part of the bunch, a plus, a celebrated, highly rated, true you. Consider yourself one of us, a celebrated, highly rated, true you. Consider yourself one of us.
Congratulations. You have a special gift coming, and here's our president. You got it? Okay. A little gift from us, a little. It's got. So let me tell you, they got a little bit of chocolate. They got a little pin, UU pin, and you get to go to the free trade, fair trade market, and for the first time, get something there. How about that?
I already got something.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
This is the time in our service when we focus on our joys and sorrows, our gifts and our needs. Before us are bowls of water. Water, the sustenance of life. Water buoys us up. It nourishes, it cleanses, and replenishes us. It is the source of life, which creates beauty, and also the making of tears. In this community, like water, we sustain each other. This is especially true when we buoy each other up in times of sadness, when we nourish one another in times of want, when we cleanse one another with acts of kindness and generosity, and replenish one another when our hearts are weary and worn. Rev Tom will add salt to the water to represent the tears that have fallen in the past week. Let us remember that there are some among us in pain. Let us be tender with one another, for we really don't know what is held in the silent sanctuary of each other's hearts. But the tears that have fallen from our eyes over the past week may also have included tears of joy and laughter. For those uplifting moments when we were touched by the bounty and beauty of nature, by a hug or a smile, by a caring act of friendship, Rev Tom will now add some flower petals to remind us of the beauty and the joy that surround us. Now, if you would like a pebble for a joy or sorrow to be added to our collective bowl of care, I invite you to come forward, but first, we know that there are some who are with us online that would like a pebble placed in the water. Now, if some of you here would like Rev Tom to place a pebble for you, please raise your hand now and he'll do that. Now I invite you to come forward at this time if you would like. that we offer one another keep us connected within this hour and within the week ahead. And now is the time in our service when we express our gratitude and commitment by sharing our financial resources. To contribute to the fellowship, place your offering in an envelope from the back of the pews, or donate to UUFEB by clicking on the QR code with your phone. Today is Sharing of Sustenance Sunday. That is one of our social justice outreach efforts. On the second Sunday of each month, the loose cash you place in the offering basket supports both the food pantry of Indian River County and our fellowship's monthly meals for persons in transitional housing. We have a little bit different now, a little difference. Not only will our offerings go to support the local food pantry for Vero Beach, it's also going to help support those in need of food in Fellsmere. The non-perishable foods and toiletries you may have brought today will be delivered to the Fellsmere fridge, and some will go to the Florida Farm Workers Association in Fellsmere. But the loose cash offering goes to the food pantry of Indian River County, and it also finances our meals for persons in transitional housing. Our fellowship's meals team prepares and delivers meals to 3 transitional housing programs each month: Camp Haven, James Arthur Court, and Naomi's Place. These agencies provide formerly homeless persons, both men and women, with interim housing. And now as we receive the offering, let us do so generously and gratefully.
This is our time for prayer and meditation, reflection. I invite everyone to make a space within yourself for this sacred time. You might take a deep, slow breath, settle in your seat, Let your eyes rest or close. And turn your attention within as you listen to these words by Howard Thurman, and open yourself to the words as well as the space between the words. Often, it is hard for me to realize that I am one. The outer life seems so utterly outer. It seems a part of a separate order. It is made up of the things I do, of my relationship of one kind or another, with work, play, job, people, things. The standard by which the outer is judged tends to be an artificial standard made up of that which is convenient, practical, expedient. The outer seems public. It seems ever to be an external net of physical relationships. The inner is my sanctuary. It is a place where I keep my trust with all my meanings and all my values. It is a quiet place where the ultimate issues of my life are determined. What I know of myself, my meaning, what I know of my God and its meaning, all this and much more is made clear inside, in my secret place. It seems strangely incongruous often to bring into my secret place the rasping, gritty noises of the outer life. Again, this may be for me just an alibi. For I know that in the searching light of my inner sanctuary, all the faults, limitations, and evil in the outer world stand clearly revealed for what they are. I determine to live the outer life through my inner sanctuary. The outer life must find its meaning, the source of its strength, in my inner sanctuary. And as this is done, the gulf between outer and inner will narrow, and my life will be increasingly whole and of one. What I do in the outer will be blessed by the holiness of my inward sanctuary. For indeed, they shall be one. May it be so. Amen.
Down to the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, sisters, let's go down, come on down. Oh, sisters, let's go down to let's go down. Let's go down, come on down. Oh, people, let's go down, down to the river to pray. Down to the river to pray.
I invite us to start by reflecting back on the story of the bamboo and the storm. Many people think resilience means standing firm against every challenge, but bamboo teaches something different. It does not resist the wind. It bends and then it rises. As I start my reflections on the life of Howard Thurman, I was very much reminded of the bamboo. His life was one of not breaking with challenges that entered his life, but of bending, even transforming, and then rising. His theology bent to more universalism and to more a liberating theology. He didn't ignore the truth, or the world for that matter, but leaned into it to teach how he saw the truth with hope. And he wrote, "I will keep my heart open to the light. I must accustom myself to the light and learn to look with steadiness at all its discloses. Even in darkness, I will learn to wait for the light, confident that it will come to cast its shaft across my path at the point of my greatest and most tragic need." I want to share a couple of stories of his life with you now. I found many stories, but the ones I chose I found in a sermon called A Strange Freedom, preached by Reverend Dr. Joshua Snyder. He did all kinds of wonderful research, he even annotated where he got his information from, so saved me a lot of work. Thurman spent his childhood as an African American growing up in Daytona, Florida, during the height of segregation. At the age of 11, his father died, and his grandmother came to live with him and his mother. Thurman's grandmother, her name was Nancy, had been born into slavery on a Florida plantation. She was a devout Christian who believed in the Bible and knew it well. However, she could neither read nor write herself. And so one of young Howard's chores was to read passages of the Bible to his grandmother according to her instruction. She had her favorite passages, the prophet Isaiah and its uplifting message of Israel's glorious return from exile in Babylon was a common request. Also popular with Grandma Nancy were the Psalms, and of course, most of the time, Thurman read to her stories and parables about Jesus, recounting again and again his tragic life and his revolutionary ministry. But there was one portion of the Bible that Thurman was forbidden to read: the letters of Paul to the early church. These letters are actually the earliest portions of the New Testament. However, Nancy, Howard Thurman's grandmother, who'd been enslaved, could only tolerate from all of those letters 1 Corinthians 13. You know, the one, love is patient, love is kind, that passage. Everything else, no way. One day, many years later, Thurman asked his grandmother point blank why this was so. He goes, "When I was older and was halfway through college, I chanced to be spending a few days at home near the end of my summer vacation. With a feeling of great temerity, I asked her why it was that she would not let me read any of the Pauline letters. What she told me, I will never forget. She said, during the days of slavery, the master's minister would occasionally hold services for the slaves. Old man McGee was so mean that he would not let a black minister preach to his slaves. Always the white minister uses a text of something from Paul. And at least 3 or 4 times a year, he used the text, slaves, be obedient to them as they are your masters, as unto Christ. Slaves, be obedient to them that are your masters, as unto Christ. Then he would go and show how it was God's will that we slaves should feel good and happy as slaves. And that if we were, God would bless us. I promised my Maker, she said, that if I would ever learn to read and if freedom ever came, I would not ever read that part of the Bible again. And this is the second story. When Howard Thurman's father had died, he had died what was considered out of Christ, meaning he had not declared Jesus as his Lord and Savior. He was not saved in the traditional Protestant understanding that was prevalent among African American Baptists at the time. As a result, the minister of the local Baptist church refused to do the funeral. After much last-minute scrambling, the family located a traveling preacher who agreed to do the service. Thurman tells the story of that minister's sermon at his father's funeral. He says, I listened with wonderment, then anger, and finally mounting rage as the minister preached my father into hell. This was his chance to illustrate what would happen to sinners who died out of Christ as my father had done. And he didn't waste it. Under my breath, I kept whispering to my mother, he didn't know Papa, did he? Did he? Out of my pain and hers, conflict, love for each other. She reached over, grabbed my knee, giving me a gentle but firm, comforting squeeze. Was sufficient to restrain the moment of my bewilderment and outrage. These 2 stories, reading the Bible to his grandmother who had been enslaved and enduring the emotional and spiritual abuse of the minister during his father's funeral, could easily have broken a lesser person or caused them to abandon their religion entirely. But Thurman used these experiences to bend and shape his theology. Thurman wrote about the religion of Jesus and the religion about Jesus. In his seminal work, Jesus and the Disinherited, Thurman says there is a difference between Jesus as a religious subject or as a religious object. If he is a religious object to be worshipped and revered, then all one need do is believe his death and resurrection to be a historical fact and to rest assured about the state of your eternal soul. However, if you take Jesus to be a religious subject, then we need to study and understand not simply his death and its effect on his followers, but rather to place the emphasis on Jesus' parables, his lessons, his ethical exhortations, and his prophetic actions. Thurman decided to take seriously Jesus' life and ministry rather than, as so many do, skim the Gospels, focus on the pain and suffering and blood of Jesus' death and resurrection. A religion that objectified Jesus was a religion of the preacher who condemned Thurman's father to hell, as well as the religion of the white preacher who would tell the slave to stay in their place and be happy. Thurman's book, Jesus and the Disinherited, interprets the life of Jesus as a guide for the oppressed rather than focus on traditional doctrines like atonement through Jesus. Jesus, Thurman notes, hung out with the oppressed and the downtrodden, and his message was a revolutionary one directed toward those people, not the ones in power. The non-dogmatic, social justice-oriented view of Jesus is highly compatible with what the early Unitarians and Universalists taught, and even what many Unitarian Universalists hold today. Unitarian Universalists do gravitate toward Howard Thurman because his philosophy mirrors our values of racial inclusivity, the inherent worth and dignity of every person, and the intersection of social justice with personal spiritual depth. As a mystic, theologian, and co-founder of the first intercultural, interfaith, integrated church, he emphasized centering down universal love and nonviolent transformative action. Amazing man. This church sounded very much like present-day Unitarian Universalist congregations. And what he preached very much aligns with our values of justice, equity, interdependence, pluralism, transformation, generosity, all grounded in love. I said the word centering down because that was, so to speak, central to his belief system. What he meant by centering down is that he encouraged people to find that inner quiet as a way to combat chaos and injustice in the outer world. As he says, it's about finding a deeper note, which only the stillness of the heart makes clear. It moves directly to the core of our being. Again and again in his writing, he encouraged people to look within, in their inner sanctuary, to find their values and meaning. He encourages us to live in the world based on our inner values and inner meaning, to not let the outer world determine how we live. I may have preached that on one or two occasions, I think, here. And he did not separate social action from spiritual life. He argued that true spiritual transformation must manifest in ethical, anti-racist, and nonviolent living. He said, don't ask what the world needs. ask what makes you come alive and go do that. Because what the world needs is more people who have come alive. Thurman is considered a wisdom figure for many Unitarian Universalists because he bridges the gap between the deep, quiet, personal faith and the bold, public social action. His mystical perspective transcends even Christianity itself. Thurman believed that God was not limited to the stories of the Bible, although he drew on them from time to time for inspiration. Like the transcendental Unitarians of a century ago, he believed that God was available to all, and God for him was the animating spirit present in all life. Week before last, I attended a Unitarian Universalist Ministers Association Institute. I was thinking about the sermon I was going to preach for you today, and just so happened at one of the services for the ministers, Howard Thurman was brought up, quoted from his book, Deep is the Hunger, Meditations for the Apostles of Sensitiveness. So I got my copy of the book out, and I started to try to find the passage that was mentioned in the service. What I found instead that touched me is what I want to share with you as I close the sermon. It's called, I Accept the Good in Myself. There are many times when things of beauty have stirred me deeply. Sunlight pouring into a city alley, moonlight upon the water of a still lake. That in me which responds to beauty I recognize and I love. For each beauty which unites us, I am thankful. There are times when something in me has stopped my telling an untruth or exaggerating the facts. There is that in myself and in my fellows which desires truth. I reverence that, and I love that, and thus I love myself. I stop to reflect on the finest acts ever performed by any person I have ever known. That in them which cause these acts, I reverence. I remember at once when something in me caused such a creative and wholehearted act that I was amazed at my own goodness. And I loved it. For the total of all the good acts performed throughout history, including mine, I give thanks. What a wonderful piece. So my friends, in the spirit of Howard Thurman, I invite us to go forth doing good, feeling reverence for each act of goodness we do, and loving ourselves for them. Loving ourselves, not just ourselves, but all who do good in the world. For all that, I give thanks. Amen. Come, go with me, verses 1 and 3.
Come and go with
As we leave this time together, let us lift up our eyes to life, that we may read the guideposts along the way and not miss the important turnings of the road. And let us lift up our eyes to love, that we do not close the doors of our hearts to the knocking hand, the tender cry, or the anxious reach. Amen.